grade, this is going to be the first video of me kind of helping you through your packet this week. This first video is going to be just me reading through material. Some of you get read to at school, so I just want to make sure that I'm doing that for you at home as well. I know a lot of you don't have your parents there to help you. So first thing I'm going to do is read through this material. If you don't need me to read to you, or you don't need this, skip through to the next video. So here we go. All living things are made of cells. Cells come in many shapes and sizes, but some share many structures in common and perform similar functions. The cell theory states that all living things are composed of cells, that cells are the basic units of living things that can perform the processes of life, and that cells can only come from other pre-existing cells. A one-celled organism, such as an amoeba, has all the structures that it needs to obtain food, digest food, grow, give off waste, and reproduce. The small structures inside of cells we call organelles. Each type of organelle has a particular function. Remember, a function is just a job. All cells have certain parts. All cells have a covering called a cell membrane that protects the cell and controls the substances that enter and leave the cell. Remember, we call that the gatekeeper. A gelatin-like substance inside the cell membrane is called the cytoplasm, and it holds and protects those other organelles. It holds them in their place. The nucleic acid that controls the cell's activity is also in the cytoplasm. Most cells, including human cells, have many other specialized organelles that carry out certain tasks. There are many life processes that go on inside your cells. All these cells are controlled by the DNA in the nucleus, the control center of the cell. Structures inside cells are called Golgi bodies. They carry food, waste, and other molecules. Lysosomes, we call that the garbage man if you remember, break down and dissolve worn out parts and waste. The mitochondria, which we sometimes refer to as the powerhouse, changes food into energy for the cell. And the ribosomes make proteins to make new molecules for building new cells and repairing the older ones. One of the cell's main functions is making new molecules, either to use as replacement parts for worn or damaged structures, or for growth. Another of the cell's functions is converting chemicals into energy that the cell parts can use to carry out their activities. Materials in the cell must move from one place to another. Proteins made on ribosomes are transported through the cell to be used to build and repair cell parts. The endoplasmic reticulum, which we call the ER, is a long folded membrane that moves molecules through the cell from the nucleus to the cell membrane. Carbohydrates move from the cell membrane to the mitochondria, where they are used to make energy. DNA and RNA are made in the cell's nucleus. Proteins, enzymes, lipids, and carbohydrates are made in the cytoplasm. Carbohydrates are produced in plant cells by organelles called chloroplast. Remember that chloroplasts are only in plant cells, and they're used to help with photosynthesis. So we're going to convert sunlight to glucose, which are carbohydrates or energy. That's what a chloroplast does. Remember, only found in plant cells. If molecules are to be sent out of the cell, the transporting organelle, called the Golgi apparatus, engulfs and moves them into the cell membrane. The molecules are enclosed in a sac-like structure called a vesicle for transport. Waste molecules are also produced by all life's processes, and these are also moved out of the cells by the Golgi apparatus. Each vesicle has protein and carbohydrates on the surface, which act like a key to determine whether the vesicle is moved out of the cell or transported to another cell's organelle. Vacuoles are organelles that store liquids like water or food. Remember that plant cells have very large vacuoles. They have to store more water than an animal cell because they can't get up and go get water. Animal cells also have vacuoles, but they are much smaller. Surrounding and enclosing the cytoplasm are organelles in the cell membrane, which has openings to regulate what enters and leaves the cell. Plant cells also have a cell wall. Remember, animal cells don't have a cell wall. That cell wall is to make a very thick structure so the plants can stand up nice and tall so that they can reach the sunlight. And animal cells do not need to do that because we have a skeleton on the inside that gives us structure. The cell's many structures work together to provide a balance between conditions outside and inside. Remember also that we call that balance within a cell or within a body homeostasis. And it also allows for growth and repair for living things. So I'm going to stop right here, this video, and then I'm going to post another one. I'm going to go through this whole thing with you, including the questions, and give you some hints and some strategies to help you get the right answers.